Authorities search for the man wanted in connection with a Vernon County murder. Jasper County election officials report early voting records. We'll hear from Pitt State's head coach as he prepares for his first game with the Gorillas.
The Four States' most watched news starts now.
Authorities tonight are searching for a man in connection with a Vernon County, Missouri homicide. This is KOAM News at 10. The Highway Patrol says the victim is a 63-year-old woman. The body was found on Quail Road near the Kansas state line in the Deerfield area. Neighbors say they saw police presence at the house close to the intersection with T Highway. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Highway Patrol for the investigation. The Hot Springs, Arkansas Police Department also released information on a suspicious package found at a Hot Springs Walmart. They found possible evidence in a trash bag in the back of a pickup truck that was later connected to that investigation in Vernon County, Missouri. Through surveillance video, they discovered the package had been put in the truck at a hotel the night before. The Hot Springs, Arkansas Police Department is looking for Aaron Goodman in connection with the homicide. He's wanted for abandonment of a corpse. They believe he's armed and dangerous and say he was last seen in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Checking in with Doug. Hetty, getting a bit cooler out there, but still relatively mild.
Yeah, not bad. Better than what we have been. We got all the rain out of here, which was much needed rain, but now it's time to dry out just a little bit. 40 was the low. 52 was our afternoon high. Still well shy of our 67 that we should be for this time of the year. You can see all the rain rotating out of here about the noon hour and then the clouds shortly after it. So now we have clear skies, and with clear skies and the winds which are decreasing, our temperature should drop off quite a bit throughout the overnight hours. Most of us 36, 37 degrees right now with those light northerly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll drop back to about 32, but a fantastic Friday. We're going to warm up quickly through the 40s, 50s, up to about 61 during the afternoon, getting even a little bit warmer for the weekend. So we're going to break that all down for you here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then. Fort Scott, Kansas City Commissioners today discussed their search for a new city manager. The current city manager, Dave Martin, announced his retirement last week. His last day will be tomorrow. Commissioners say they're in talks with a company to search for qualified candidates, but they want to make sure the cost of the search isn't too high.
If this is something that we can do on our own, as far as go out for applications for city managers, then we might want to do that. But we'd like at least till the next city meeting on Tuesday to read through the paperwork and find out what the best possible resolution is.
At the meeting today, city commissioners also voted to switch their insurance provider to a local agency. A hardware store that's been serving Fort Scott, Kansas for almost 50 years will soon get a roughly $300,000 makeover thanks to some help from the state. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the owner of Mako Ace Hardware to learn more.
Ace Hardware, this is Chris.
Ever since it opened almost 5 decades ago, Mako Ace Hardware in Fort Scott, Kansas has been a family business.
All the hard work that my father put into this business, my grandfather put into this business. And so it's been a great venture for me to be here and to be able to do this with my 2 boys.
Store owner Chris Maycumber will eventually pass the store on to his sons, but for now he's focusing on making sure they and the Fort Scott community have the best hardware store a growing city could ask for.
We've got more people every day moving downtown and every day moving to Fort Scott, and so this, as a hardware store for convenience for residents as well as businesses, is just unparalleled.
Maycumber's customers will soon be treated to an upgraded store with a new facelift. The store is receiving a community development block grant worth almost $225,000, and Maycumber will be contributing roughly $75,000 in matching funds. That money will go towards roof and ceiling repair and replacement, window and door replacement, and making the store ADA accessible as well as more energy efficient.
And hopefully allow us to be here for generations to come.
In Fort Scott, Kansas, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The owner of Mako Ace Hardware hopes all of his store improvements will be completed by early summer of next year. With COVID concerns, a lot of people are deciding to vote early all across the nation and right here in the 4 states. According to Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis, the county has more than double the number of absentee ballots this year compared to the 2016 presidential election. Davis says the majority of those voting early are senior citizens and people taking advantage of the modified rules for voting absentee. Early in-person voting is underway across Oklahoma now. Polls today opened at county election board offices in all 77 counties. In some counties, voters were lined up an hour before the polls opened. Besides president, Oklahoma voters are casting ballots for a U.S. Senate race, 5 U.S. House seats, and 2 state questions. Oklahoma in-person voting continues tomorrow and Saturday. President Trump and Joe Biden kept their eyes on the prize in Florida, leading rallies just hours apart in Tampa. At stake are Florida's 29 electoral votes out of 270 needed to win the White House. Reporter Skylar Henry has more.
Both presidential candidates held dueling rallies in the Sunshine State.
You hold the key. If Florida goes blue, it's over. It's over.
5 days from now, we are going to win Florida. We are going to win 4 more years in the White House.
Campaigning Thursday on Florida's east and west coasts, Democratic nominee Joe Biden kept pressing his message, criticizing President Trump's coronavirus response.
President Trump's super spreader events that he's spreading more virus around the country, and here in Florida today, he's spreading division in addition.
The president regularly says the nation is rounding the curve on COVID-19, despite new flare-ups around the U.S.
We're never going to lock down again. We locked down, we understood the disease, and now we're open for business.
The candidates also clashed over the economy, which President Trump has touted as one of his strengths.
When Barack and I left office, we left Donald Trump a strong economy, stronger than the one he handled. And just like everything else he inherited, he blew it.
You will have a crippling depression, the likes of which you've never seen if Sleepy Joe becomes your president.
Nationwide, President Trump and Joe Biden are fighting for the dwindling number of voters who haven't yet cast ballots. So far, more than 80 million Americans have already voted early across the country. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump was set to visit the battleground state of North Carolina tonight, but strong wind from Tropical Storm Zeta forced the outdoor event to be postponed. Still ahead, we get a look at what Joplin's Memorial Hall might look like if city leaders move forward with recommendations from residents. And nightmare fuel. The Joplin History and Mining Museum has plenty of it. City of Joplin released new drawings of the proposal for Joplin's Memorial Hall at a meeting this week. On Tuesday, officials held another public meeting to discuss the latest survey results for the future of Memorial Hall. The survey focused on preliminary drawings of potential design changes to the building. These new drawings were also released, providing a more detailed look at what the future of the building could be. These latest drawings are now part of a third survey the city is conducting.
If there's any changes and comments from the public, then SFS Architecture will kind of tweak it, and that'll go on to their next report that's going to be presented.
That survey is available on the city's website. Watered Gardens in Joplin is reminding people tomorrow is the last day for Empty Bowls pre-sales. Officials say they have about 100 bowls left, made by 7 artists in Southwest Missouri. Empty Bowls is a fundraiser Watered Gardens uses to help care for and feed people in need in the community. When someone buys a bowl, they'll get a serving of soup and then get to keep the bowl as a reminder that they're helping someone in need.
My favorite thing about this is it's a win-win-win in our community. You get restaurants that get featured on the day of the event, you get these incredibly gifted potters that get featured, and you're doing something good for those who are struggling with poverty and homelessness, and you're helping out ministries that are privately sourced to get that done.
The Empty Bowls event, where people will get their bowls and soup, will be on November 19th. If Watered Gardens still has some bowls after the pre-sale, they'll sell them at that event. Museums are often filled with kind of creepy items. Well, these might be some of the worst. The Joplin History and Mineral Museum has gathered a collection of creepy dolls, and they want your help to determine the creepiest among them. On the museum's Facebook page, they're posting pictures of dolls along with what makes them so disturbing. They're asking you to tell them which doll creeps you out the most.
Hoping that maybe we can get some more stories from the public about their own creepy dolls. But we've had a lot of people who talk about how ours look kind of scary, and we're getting some pretty good feedback on it.
Yeah, the museum is asking folks to share stories of any supernatural activity they might have experienced with their own creepy dolls, and photos too. A little bit later on KOAM News at 10, we have some Thursday night football action as Oswego takes on Burton Central.
Plus, our temperatures are going to be cold tonight, but we are going to start to warm back up. We're going to look at that coming up. It definitely turned out to be a much better afternoon and evening after we got all the rain out of here. Of course, we needed the rain across the region. We have been super dry over the past couple months, but after 3 or 4 days of rain and even some ice, it was nice to see a little bit of the sunshine, and we're going to get to dry out just a bit. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, you can see the rain. The clouds quickly break up during the afternoon. Turned out to be a fantastic evening. And temperatures, they got into lower 50s, which we'll definitely take. Over a ½ inch of rain since midnight, so for the month, about 4.5 inches, 41.5 for the year. So right now we're almost 2 inches above where we should be for this time of the year, which we'll take because it's going to be fairly dry over the next week. It is cooling down, 37, dew point's 33. This number can't drop below that number. So we're going to get right around freezing during the overnight hours tonight. Most of us across the metro sitting into the upper 30s. Diamond 37, CJ 37, Miami, Pittsburgh a hair cooler at 36 degrees, and most of us across the entire 4-state area. 39 Bella Vista, Nevada 36, Neodesha is sitting at 41 degrees, but you can see that cooler air filtering in to the Central Plains. We are going to start to modify this a bit as we work into the next couple days. Also, the winds have died down. They were pretty brisk earlier today, but now we got these light northerly winds, which will continue to work in. Look at all the rain through the morning hours, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, finally rotated out. And then the clouds broke up right behind it, so now we have clear skies. This storm system that we have been watching is rotating very quickly off toward the east, but if we look out to the west, there's nothing going on, and that's our weather as we work into the next couple days. It looks great Friday, Saturday, few changes by Sunday, but tonight's going to be cold. We'll drop back right around freezing. So again, if you have any plants that can't take a good frost, you may cover them up or bring them inside. Here's your day planner. We'll start at 32. Southerly winds are going to be light at about 5 to 10. We should quickly warm up, so about 55 by noon, and then I think most of us will top out right around 61. So this means for high school football, it's going to be fine, it's going to be dry, it is going to be chilly, it's going to be football weather as we drop back through the 50s during the evening hours. But we're going to have the south winds, so it looks fine. Clear skies tomorrow night. Let's go into Saturday morning. Mid-40s, nice warm up through the day into the 60s on Halloween. You can see this little wind shift line just to our west. That's a cold front. It's going to slide in by the time we head into Saturday night. May get a few clouds. I think we're going to stay dry, but this will cool us down a little bit on Sunday. So instead of 60s, we'll top out into the low to mid 50s for highs. 61 for us tomorrow. Here's Halloween, 63. If you are getting out during the evening hours on Halloween, temperatures pretty good. A jacket, 59 by 6, 54 by 8, down to about 50 by 10 p.m. Of course, your clocks go back 1 hour on Saturday night. We lose an hour of evening daylight, but you gain an hour of sleep.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the hour of daylight. Yeah. 54 on Sunday, back into the 70s next Wednesday and Thursday.
Gets too dark already.
I know.
And you have to fall back.
I know.
Next time. Still ahead, the Pitt State Gorillas are preparing to step on the field for the first time this season with their new head coach. We're going to hear from the team ahead of their matchup with Nebraska Kearney next.
This week is the opening week of the playoffs for Kansas high school football. Now, a few local schools are getting an early start tonight, including the Oswego Indians. Oswego, 7-1 heading into the playoffs. They have the Burton Central Raiders in round 1. Indians go to work fast. First possession, it's sophomore Jake Hutchinson. Tough 5-yard run. Oswego up 6-0. A first Central possession, 4th and 1. Look at Jesse Bloomer getting in the backfield, blowing it up. It's a turnover on downs. And very next play, Oswego takes a shot. Lance Teal, perfect ball deep down the middle for Isaac Elkins. Pushes the Indians' lead to 14. But they're not done. Still in the first. Quick pitch goes to Jace Landis. Landis gets around the far side. 36 yards for the touchdown. It's 22-0. Now Oswego gets one more in the first. This time it's Teal making the right call to pull it. He's in for 6. Oswego runs away from Central. Indians are moving on 54-8. It's game week for Pittsburgh State football. On Saturday, the Gorillas will hit the field against Nebraska Kearney in their first game under head coach Brian Wright. Pitt State head coach Brian Wright is about to get his first taste of Gorilla Game Day.
Throughout all that we've been through, just to have this opportunity to lead our football team out there onto the field doing what we all love to do is pretty exciting.
It's been a long time coming, and we finally get to show y'all all the hard work we've been doing.
The Gorillas will host Nebraska Kearney on Saturday in front of a limited crowd.
Even though it's not the full game day atmosphere and we're not going to have as much fans at the stadium, our mindset's still it's game day, and we're going to show them what the Gorillas are about.
Saturday's game is one of 5 on the schedule for Pitt State this fall. While the goal is to win, the Gorillas also want to find out what they have in some younger players.
We also have a good group of young people. We've got some depth at some of the positions that we'd like to see some other guys, and I think a lot of that's naturally going to happen just because at certain positions we just have young guys that we need to see anyway, and they're going to have to spell some of those starters. So I think a lot of it's just naturally going to happen.
At quarterback, Wright will not name a starter, but does say we'll see Max Sexton, Matt Harmon, and Chad Dodson each on the field on Saturday.
We'll throw, the guy that's going to start out there early and give him those first couple, series, and then let the next QB in, and then we'll play it by ear from that point, see the flow of the game.
Saturday's game will begin shortly after noon. Now, the Neosho High School boys soccer program is on a historic run. The Wildcats have won 3 straight district titles, appeared in the Final Four, and this year, the team was crowned COC champs for the first time ever. A KOAM sports reporter Andy Cioteco catches up with the Wildcats as they hope to keep making history.
Senior Diego Vargas has experienced some historic moments. Neosho boys soccer captured the last 3 straight district titles and made their first Final Four appearance in program history 1 season ago.
It had to take a lot of work because we came from nothing and it took us a lot.
The Wildcats finished last season 4th at the Class 3 state tournament, following losses to Platte County and Webster Groves. Vargas says that team started something, and this year they aim to finish it.
Those 2 big losses that we took last year was terrible, and now this year we want to come back and win and do what we deserve.
Neosho has continued its historic run. This year, the Wildcats finished the regular season 16-1 overall and undefeated in conference play, winning their first COC title.
We've had successful postseason runs the last few years, but a regular season like the one these guys have put together this year shows a measure of consistency that we haven't had before, which is great.
Oh, well, since we were little, we all grew up playing together, and it was our dream, to make history here. And we just kept that in our heads, kept our motivation, knew what we wanted, and then we just went for it.
The 13 seniors hope to capitalize on the experience they have gained as they make a run for a 4th consecutive district title and possibly pushing for their first state championship.
Now this is our last year, so it's our basically time to shine. So we have to take advantage. The Final Four, it was an example of what we could do, and this year it's going to show us we can do better.
In Neosho, Andy Cioteco, KOAM Sports.
And Neosho will open up the Class 3 District 12 tournament this Saturday at home against Carl Junction. The game time for that one is 2 o'clock. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Technician Melvin Larson. The Parsons, Kansas native served in the U.S. Army. And we are proud to salute technician Marvin Larson. He's tonight's four-state hero. Just in time for Halloween, we're learning an interesting fact about these creepy crawlers. This is the scary sounding and kind of scary looking ogre-faced spider. Yes, ogre-faced spider. Scientists have learned they can hear, even though they don't have any ears. Turns out they're able to listen to sounds through receptors on their legs, including leg hairs. They can detect sounds from at least 6.5 feet away and are sensitive to frequencies up to 10 kilohertz. The research shows that spiders are auditory. They use those auditory cues to detect and capture flying insects. Yeah, these spiders do not wait for insects to get stuck into webs. They hunt. Sweet dreams, everybody. All right, let's check back with Doug.
Well, it's going to be cold tonight. We're going to have frost on the pumpkin as we head into the morning hours. So very frosty start, 61 during the afternoon. Friday looks great. In fact, the next several days look great. I know we needed the rain, but it's going to be nice to dry out just a bit. Halloween, 63. Of course, we drop back 1 hour Saturday night, a little bit cooler on Sunday, and then warming right back up next week.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.